Hey, Warriors, and thank you so much for tuning in to webinar number 2 for the summer session of Athena's Warriors United program. Well, May is coming to an end, my friends. It's time to look forward to the month of June. And this month kicks off our hostess promotion, Win Free Sex Toys for a Year. That's right, June, July, and August hostesses. Anyone who has a qualifying party will get entered to win free sex toys for a year. I hope that you're leveraging this amazing incentive to fill your open dates with parties. And hosts and hostesses will enjoy something else that's very special in June. That's the deeply discounted hostess special, a flashing finger for just $4.99. It's a great price for a toy that lights up your night, right? And then Coming Colors is our VIP exclusive $500 party hosts and party guests who spent $100 with you in the month of June will come in colors for just $9.99. All the slash and sass is perfect for all the pride parties that are being conducted in June, and I'd like to give a huge shout-out to all the Athena's Warriors who are members of the LGBTQ community, and, of course, all the allies here at Athena's. I'm wishing you all a very happy Pride Month. So 2017 is now just about half over. Wow. Can you believe we're at the halfway point already? But the summer is just about to begin. All the incentives for free products and cash and keys to the $10,000 treasure box are all yours for the taking. And I'm already adding the September meeting to my daily visualizations when I meditate. I can see the joyful Goddesses and Adoni, many gracing the stage to collect dream-come-true prizes. Can you see it too? Well, this summer session of Warriors United is very, very special. It's one where one of you is going to win a free trip to Hawaii. Being able to take people on dream-come-true vacations is one of my most favorite things to do. So who among you will be standing there on the deck of the ship with me watching the island of Maui come into view for free? It's going to be one of the most magical Athena's trips ever. It's a celebration of our 20th year in business, and you could win it just for participating fully in the Warriors United Summer Program. You know, the intention that I have for the Warriors United program is to first and foremost inspire you to keep your entrepreneurial spirit soaring through the summer. And next, it's designed to reward you for your consistent effort of selling, team building, and participating in our events. I literally will pay you in free sex toys for being a warrior. I care that much about your success. You know, and it is a daunting task for me to create a program that is compelling enough to appeal to the veteran, longtime Goddesses and Adoni, as well as our newest Goddesses and Adoni. That's definitely a challenge. But I believe this session of the Warriors United program has something for everyone. We've got industry experts and tips from wildly successful goddesses who are willing to share their wisdom with you. So are you ready? It's time to learn. You're going to hear code words throughout this call, so listen carefully. The code word, or words, let us know that you are here and go towards your spoils of war. And my first code word that I have for you is my, M-Y. My is your first code word. So my guest speaker is the awe-inspiring, hard-working, top-selling goddess, recruiter, and team leader, most admired leader of 2016, Chrissy Shed. I took some time this morning to check out Chrissy's summer sales for the last 5 years. So you ready? Now these are just summer sales May through August. So in 2012, she sold $35,000 in that time frame. 2013 was $45,000 in that time frame. 2014 was $54,750 in that time frame. 2015 was $64,000. So you can see that she went from 35, 45, 55, 64, and in 2016, last year, her summer sales were $65,645. Astounding, right? I mean, she doubled her business in just 5 short years. And I looked in 2011, she wasn't even on the list of top-selling summer goddesses that year. So just think about that. In 5 years, she doubled her business. And something like that doesn't happen overnight. It happens every day. Through consistent effort, she's making big money while balancing her family life. So looking back to those numbers, So let's think about what she sold per month, right, by average. So in 2012, she sold about $8,700 per month in the summer. 2013, $11,300 per month. 2014, $13,600 per month. 2015, $16,000 per month. And in 2016, $16,400 per month. So those numbers are just incredible. They secure her a top 10 spot for monthly sales, earning her purple bags and her keys. But that's just the icing on top of the sundae. I mean, the real meat of what she's doing here is the income. So, I mean, wow, just like let's look at it from a 50% discount perspective. She went from making $5,000 a month profit in 2012 to $8,000 a month profit in 2016. So the weekly breakdown is she went from making about $1,250 a week to $2,000 per week selling sex toys. What would your life look like if you had that kind of income flowing into your household? Well, I made a Facebook post a few weeks ago in the new community and in the WOW community to collect questions for Chrissy. And she is here on this call to answer your questions. That's right, I nailed down this busy lady to get her to answer your questions. So I'm going to challenge you right now to close out of your Facebook and your emails and really listen to what Chrissy has to say. Remember that when you're multitasking while learning, you don't absorb anything that the teacher is saying. So if you're going to invest in this call and listen to what Chrissy has to say, really, really listen, because it only benefits you. It only helps you grow your business. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the one and only Chrissy Shedd. Hey, Chrissy.
Hey, Jen. Hi, Warriors.
Wow, Chrissy, so you're just coming in from a 5-day camping vacation with your family. Welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm excited to be back, too, though.
Yeah, right? It feels so good, though, to take the time away. So when you go away like that, do you truly unplug? I just have to ask.
For the most part, I do, yes. There's times where, like this past weekend, I'm sitting on the beach, and I have one kid playing with a new friend and the other fishing, and I'm sitting there. So I am going to pick up something, and I'm going to work a little bit. So I do. Those that do know me know that I work a lot. When my children are with me on vacations, or my husband is, I am 100% theirs. So I do plug in little bits and pieces because it does show people that, look, I can do this. So your clients or your team, I can have this time, but you're also giving time for your family when you need to. So a balance, which we'll talk about a little bit.
Yes, I love that. All right, so let's take, we have a lot of new goddesses and Adoni who are participating in this program who don't know the origin story of Chrissy Shedd. So let's go back to the beginning. Our new goddesses and Adoni are curious, how long have you been a goddess?
All right. Well, welcome to all the newbies. Super exciting with our growth, first of all. So welcome to all of them. So first, I began in 2006. I was actually going to just be somebody that wanted to do this as a fun hobby for a little bit. And then I ended up leaving and getting married. And that was in 2007. And then a year later, I returned. So with vacations here and there, I've been a goddess for about 11 years.
That's a long time in direct sales, for sure. So how did you get started? Like, can you tell us a little bit about the beginning? And then I know you transitioned from freedom to indie. So if you could take us through that, that would be fantastic.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Like I just mentioned, I started thinking that I was just going to jump into doing this. I never thought I'd be a salesperson, ever, and that I would leave after a little bit of fun, getting some free products, some extra money. I was a bartender at that time, so when I did begin, I made sure that I advertised right away. So I pushed for parties for people that I knew at work or regular clientels, and we say that, everybody that you know that's close to you. And from there, well, everybody knows how it works. So have a show and entice people to bring friends and family along. I do that for people. I still do that for people that I don't know or don't know well. If they bring somebody, I give them raffle tickets for each person they bring. I started that right from the get-go, which works great. And I then bribed people to book shows by offering something on their wish list for a discount or for free or for a qualifying show. And from here, this is where I began to pour my heart into my business. So I worked it very hard in the beginning, as we know that when you first begin, it's the largest building portion of your business. And I was really determined as well as having way too much fun. So that started off as freedom. So about 6 years I was freedom, actually. I decided to make the change. I had considered doing it 4 years in, but I was told by so many people that you cannot do it as a freedom goddess. You can't succeed like an independent goddess. So I wanted to prove to people that that is not true, and it still is not true. I was fourth in the company being freedom, and so I remained freedom actually for another 2.5 years because I was an inspiration to them. That's what I heard from people. So I wanted to maintain that and show them that they could do this. So I remained freedom to be that inspiration and to show them that they could indeed succeed with hard work. Think outside the box, right, and have that complete compassion and passion for your business. Then at the end of my last year's freedom, this is where I got smart. I pulled the number, and I showed my husband the number that I was losing at this point. So like I said, I had maintained what I needed to do. My life had changed. I did have a little time for my business at this point, so independent made sense for me at that point. At this point, I had $177,000 in sales, being fourth in the business.
Goddess.
As a freedom goddess, yes.
300.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that number totaled over. So the money that I lost this, so I calculated 50% rather than 35% for my commissions, and that number that I had quote unquote lost was $26,500. So I showed this number to my husband, and he looked at it. He looked up at me with big eyes and said, "Do the switch like yesterday." So that's when I interviewed. I didn't just jump. I interviewed many goddesses and Adoni who did the switch either way. So I asked what they considered being the pros and the cons of each plan. You know, I find it important to research and find what's 100% for you personally because it's going to be different for everybody. So I switched over 5 years ago, and with my life and what works for me, I haven't looked back. Organization to the fullest is very important. Figuring out a new way to make everything work. So I was and still kind of am very old-fashioned that if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? I have that type of mentality. So that was difficult for me to overcome, which you need to in this business too. You have to be willing to change. But once I got into the swing of things of carrying stock, inventory, organization, being more in control, what I think was everything that I love. So with the money that I had put away being freedom, my husband and I were able to build a home, and I knew that I was going to do this forever. So in building my home, I built it around my office space. So Pete, my husband, built a stockroom separate from my actual home office space to make inventory and upkeep easier for me. So that's a little bit about that.
Wow. What you did with the Freedom Plan was huge, and you know, we really saw at that time a lot of successful freedom goddesses, and it was neat to see a major transition where a lot of them switched. So, you know, I always recommend to people that are just starting out to try the Freedom Plan first so they can dip their toe in, get used to doing the presentations, and then switch to indie so that they can make more money once they're super comfortable in their business and have built a clientele. I totally think it's the way to go. I watched you do it. It's totally the way to go. So people wanted to know, how did you build up to this point? So, you know, you said you did $177,000 as a freedom goddess, and you've done over $200,000 as an indie goddess in a year. So how did you build up to this point? And how long do you feel it took you to get to this point?
Okay, so building, there's a couple pieces to that. So building clientele and stock. So when it comes to stock, I knew what I was doing per month in sales when I did the switch over. Again, I did that research, not just of everybody else, but of myself in my numbers. So it was about $14,000 to $16,000 in sales that I was doing at that point per month. So that's when I got a business credit card, and I just bought that amount of stock right away. I don't recommend that for people first starting out, okay? But that's what I did at that point. I didn't want to buy too much or too little. I knew where my business was, what my clientele liked, and so on. So I wanted to carry everything that I showed at that point since I was already a full-time goddess. So for that January, I pretty much didn't make any money. I put it into the switch over, going full-time, heavy-hitting indie, but then come 30 days later, I paid for it all, plus some, and I began making that 50% commission. So I knew then, as I do now, that everything that is a success will take time, commitment, compassion, and persistence. We cannot forget that. You have to allow yourself that time. When it came to my clients, that builds slowly as well, or it can be as slow or quick as what you're willing to work. I was ready to heavy hit, so I picked up that phone. I offered referral bonuses to people for sending their friends to me, and I keep in touch with all of my clients all the time. By not letting them forget your name, that's important, of course. That's when you build loyal clientele. But along with being unforgettable, caring, and listening to my clients, you do the same, and you'll see that comes back to you, and they also refer others to you. So after coming back to Athena's after the birth of my second child, which was in 2010, this is when I quit my jobs, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, full-time goddess. So it was about, I'd say, 9 months until I had a healthy build of shows and clients kind of where I wanted to be. That was when I began treating my business like a full-time job. So when you treat your business that way, it also gives back to you. So it's a win-win when you work together.
For sure. You know, I feel like there are a lot of people on this call who can benefit from what you just said because, you know, someone has a bad party, you know, the first couple of parties are like $200 or $300, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to quit. You know, this isn't working. You know, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. You're a living, breathing example of that. And it doesn't just happen either. Like, you have to work at it every single day to get to the level of success that you have. So what is your advice for, well, actually, let me ask you, how many parties do you do per month to achieve the sales that you have? I know that's a burning question. People think that you work 24 hours a day.
No. Yeah, so when I started when I was at, 150, 177,000, I was doing about 8 shows a month. Now I do, on average, mind you, I do about double that, so about 16 to 20 max. That's both Facebook and home shows. So I'd say about 16 to 20 shows on average. Yeah.
Well, if you were working a 40-hour job, you'd work more days than that, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's even 2 to 3 parties sometimes in a day. So
wow. So if you're
lots
doing
of time off.
three parties on a Saturday, you know, that's you have a lot of week left to spend time with your family. I love that. So now let me ask you, what's your advice for the newbies who are starting out, who aspire to have the level of success that you have achieved?
We kind of just said it, right? Don't give up.
Yeah.
So the only way, and I tell my newbies this all the time, and my veterans really, the only way that you can fail in this business is to give up. When you hit a hard spot, whether it be low sales, party cancellations, say a tough recruit, or who we deem as a horrible client, whatever it is, whatever it is in your business or in your mind for that matter, you have to look at it as a learning curve, not a failure. Okay, we succeed because we fail, so you have to look at that as a learning curve. Whatever you say to yourself is really what's going to come back to you and be true. Mind over matter, you've heard. So if you look at a tough moment in your business and say, screw it, next, here we go, right? Concentrate on moving forward and do not let it bring you down. Yes, I have hard times. Anybody in this business has hard times, but what you do with it will determine where you go. This is when you're going to move ahead. So if you look at it on the other note and say, this is not for me, or, oh, my God, I can't do this, because you had what you deem as a failure, that's exactly what's going to happen in your mind. You're telling yourself what's going to happen. So it totally depends on you. So I've seen this far too much with people who be like you said, had a $200 show, and, oh, God, this just isn't for me. Listen, I've had shows with no sales. I've had $200 sales. In sales. Last month alone, I had 5 cancellations. It happens, okay? Believe in yourself. Tell yourself every day that you're amazing, that you can do it, that you will do it, and gosh damn it, you'll do it. So don't slack on the work. That's another thing you said, Jen, right? So we cannot slack on your work. You can't expect it to just come to you. So remain consistent. Find the organization that works for you. Follow up with your clients, and always remain passionate about what you do.
Perfect. Passion, that's the key to success. I really believe that. If you're passionate about what you're doing, I mean, that's what makes you jump out of bed every morning, is the passion to work your business, to pick up the phone, to overcome those tough times. And you are a passionate woman, there is no doubt. So the question that I have next for you comes from the Goddesses and Adoni who admire you. They want to know, when you reached this level of success that you have, what are you doing to remain consistent, Because, I mean, it's a time where you could just be like, yeah, I'm just going to rest on my laurels, but yet you keep working. So how is it that you remain consistent?
First of all, I freaking love what I do. I love every second of what I do. It's like a hobby for me, so that helps. But also, I made a schedule for myself that I stuck to. It's so important to make yourself something that you can stick to that works for your life. Otherwise, at this level I'm at, I would fall behind. I'd lose track of something. My gosh, there's so much, right? And that can't happen. So you have to have that schedule that you follow. So I personally need to make sure that everything is done when I have it planned, or something will be forgotten or will be pushed back. And when one thing is pushed back, everything is. So, for example, Monday is my follow-up with my upcoming week's hostesses, coach them, and then reach out to their guests to guest coach, which I do. I also do my 2-week follow-ups at this point for people that have had parties 2 weeks ago. Tuesday is my 2-month follow-ups, and then my hostess coaching for the remainder of my parties that month. Wednesday is my inventory and packing for my upcoming weekend shows, follow-up again with hostesses for that weekend, and then my team coaching calls and follow-ups. Thursday through Sunday is usually when I'm partying and family time in between. Yes, there is in between time. It sounds crazy, but it really flows well for me at this point. So that's what I do every week at that same point. It becomes second nature. So just like everything else, right, when you stick to something and remain consistent and persistent, it really does just become what you're used to doing. So I wake up on that day, and that's just what I do at this point.
Love it. The Tuesdays, the 2-week calls, It has a nice ring to it, I love that. So our second code word, Warriors, is light, L-I-G-H-T. Your second code word is light. So, the next question is about time. So how much time would you say you set aside weekly for your business, and daily? On average, how many hours do you put in daily?
Okay. I work it pretty much like a full-time job. So at least 40 hours a week, office time, Monday through Friday. At this point in my life, my kids are in 1st and 3rd grade. I can't believe it's almost 2nd and 4th. But while they're at school, okay, so they leave at 7:18 for the bus. That's a little bit about my day. 7:18 for the bus. From 7:30 to 9, I'm answering whatever emails, questions from team and clients that I had, and then I'm packing orders from the night prior that I may have. 9 to 12 is whatever's on the schedule for that day for my business, which I already talked about. Then I break for an hour or two for me time, and I'll prolong that time depending on what I'm doing, whether it's lunch, working out, grocery shopping, errands, whatever it is. Bus comes home at 3:15, get the kids off the bus, and then it's family time. This is when I put the iPad, I close it. We're doing homework and getting ready for our gymnastics or warrior class. We have warrior class. Dance, whatever it might be. Every night there's something going on at this point in my life, and anybody with 2 kids of that age understand. So it's devoted to them until 8 p.m. Now they're in bed. We've already done books in bed. And then at 8:30 I'm back to working, unless, of course, it's a party day or Monday night, which is devoted to my husband and I. We sit on the couch and have a show together. Jen, Fear the Walking Dead next Monday, just saying.
Oh, yeah, woo!
And then, I'm so excited. And then once he goes to bed, he usually goes to bed around 9:30, 10, I'm back to work. So I just get on, and a lot of people are on social media at this point, so this is my social media work time. So like I said, I love working my business. It's beautiful when your career is your ultimate passion, right? It's nice when those can coincide. Anyone that knows me at all knows that I literally never stop. So even when I have friends over my house, or, I'm doing something for me, I'm also doing something for my business. So I'm quite the juggler of plates. I'm not happy unless I'm busy, which works out perfectly for me.
So here's the burning question, because you do so many parties, you have such a full schedule. How do you get people to book parties?
Okay, back to consistency, right? In the beginning, it's a little harder, but we all know, do your celebration parties from there, entice to book, and keep talking to everybody. At this point, party bookings come to me at shows or through referrals. I have a lot of referral bonuses, but I also offer something. So also I blitz with my team. So do what you want your kids to do, right? Just like your team. So I blitz with them, call people directly. I pick up the damn phone, people. Don't forget to do that. So I call people directly to book shows. I know my clients. I know what they like. I know what they want, they need. So I work with that. So, for example, when I know Sarah wanted to get the Speedway at Jesse's show and couldn't afford it, or she got too much else and she said she'd do that later, I offer to give her for a discounted price or free at her show of $500 more, right? So she's earning a percentage anyways, so just make it sound, because it is for them, so make it sound that way for them. I give a little, but I get a lot in return. So I take pride in the fact that I'm giving. So I love to spoil people. And why wouldn't I want to take care of them? Because they're taking care of me as well. You need to remember that too. So working the needs and wants of your clients, your potential hostesses, is what you should do all the time. In my mind, that's what I think. So people love what's in it for them, right? They love free or what's discounted. So offer them that. Offer them something. Also, a Blitz life hack for you. So if you're indie, I use Quick Sale, so many of you might know this. And if you have any questions, we'll hit them up later because this is a lot of information. But I use Quick Sale for my ordering, Quick Sale Pro. Next to people's name, I type in the word book if they're interested in a future booking, because we always know people say, oh, maybe later, not right now, but maybe later. Keep track of those people. I type in Goddess if they're interested in joining. And then I type in the word more next to their name if they had more on their wish list that they couldn't get. That's 9 out of 10 people, right? So when we blitz or I want to book shows, I will type in the word book in my Quick Sale, and I'll search for that year, and all of those leads will pop up. Bam, they're all right in front of you. There's all my booking leads. I'll pick up the phone and call them. Same with recruits, or if I have a cancellation, now you have a cancellation, right? Type in the word more, and all of my people that were interested in ordering more, there they are. Wow. Pick up the phone,
just hop
call
on the
them.
phone and generate that money, honey.
Wow. Absolutely.
Brilliant.
So that entices them. Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. And having such a huge clientele already, do you feel that there's still ways to get new customers?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can get new customers. Again, talking, right? Every party, there's new people. Even if the core of your party is people that you know and that are loyal to you, there's always going to be somebody new. So when you book a show, you'll having the newbies there, that's always the case. So I offer guests that are coming to shows, again, guest coaching prior to the show. I offer them 2 raffle tickets for each friend that they bring to the show. So give them something back, right? And who gives a shit? That's raffle tickets for you. You're not giving a whole lot to them at that point. It's raffle tickets. Almost every show I have a person or 2 bring friends. These are the people that you really want to work on getting bookings because they're brand new to you. So when you go to their party, I still walk in a couple times a month, and everybody is new. Everybody. Yes, this still happens. People don't know Athena's, okay? Let's share it. So there are so many people out there for us to think that there's not. It's just silly. Or saying that this area is oversaturated. Silly, silly, silly. It's so not true. There will be no shortage of people interested in your products. I literally ask everybody I meet if they know Athena's, or I bring up my business everywhere. What's the worst that can happen? They'll say they're not interested. Okay, you're back to square one. Not a big deal. At sporting events for my kids, I bring tea tree and skinny dip mist. This past month alone, actually, I sold 9 mists and 12 tea tree people just because of the bugs. Okay? So you truly have to think outside of the box, to change it up. Learn and unplug from those around you as well. The resources you have are available. And also extend outside of Athena's direct circle to business people that you personally connect with, whether it be books or other companies, and never, ever stop learning. And then you'll never stop growing.
That's the truth. So everybody, you feeling like you're learning a lot from Miss Chrissy so far? I know I am. So Chrissy, how do you approach people about booking parties outside the party environment? I know that the majority of your parties come from your parties themselves, but do you have people that you approach outside the party environment?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I connect with people, whether it's at the grocery store, beach, concert, whatever it is, I'm always striking up conversations with people. It starts with about them. I never go up to them and be like, hey, do you know Athena's? I don't start off with that. So chat with people all the time. I compliment them about something, so catch their attention by bringing attention to something about them. Don't talk about you right away, okay? So once walk up to somebody and be like, oh, my gosh, I love your shirt. Where'd you get it? Whatever it is. So once I get to know them a little or see what their life is like, maybe if they're a mom, divorced, getting married, a student, new house, whatever it is, make it personal to them. This past weekend, actually, camping, I met a woman at the beach where her daughter was playing with mine. I walked up to her and talked to her. So I asked where they live, which I found out it was a little less than an hour for me. I asked about her kids and found out that she was newly divorced and in a new home. I then told her that it sounds like she needs some her time, right, busy mom time, and she laughed and said, absolutely. There was my opener. I asked then, after we talked, if she had known about Athena's. Then I introduced who the company was, who I was, and I said, I'd love to come spoil you and give you a night of fun that sounds like you could use. She then booked. We have a booking for the end of the summer. So you just have to be approachable and personable. It's going to take a little time to open up personally. Some of you are probably thinking, oh, my God, you can do it. I was not this open when I first joined, okay? It does take time. So every time you do something that you're uncomfortable with, you're going to become more comfortable. Just allow yourself to do that for you and for your business's future.
I love that. I love what you're saying because it's all about connection and really authentically connecting with people. Because if you just sit there staring at your phone, so if you would have been staring at your phone while your kids were playing with her kids, you never would have seen the opportunity because you're looking up from your phone and really participating in the life that's going on around you. You're able to make those connections. So I think that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that because I think that the world can benefit from people looking up from their phones at this point, don't you?
Oh, my gosh, hands down, hands down.
Right. So, Chrissy, I'm going to, because we're already at 30 minutes, I'm going to ask if you could post your top 5 selling products in the WOW community under a thread so people can see what they are. People asked about, I've got 3 questions left for you, so I think everyone would hang with us for 3 more questions, don't you? What marketing do you use to build your business outside the party environment? Like, I know that a lot of people want to rely on Facebook to build their businesses, but, I mean, we both know that that's not enough. There's so much more that has to go on. But you've already talked about, making genuine connections, talking to people, picking up the phone. But what marketing do you use to build your business? Okay.
So everything we already talked about, of course. But, yeah, I have my own website. So, of course, Athena's offers fabulous websites. But I also went above and beyond that, and I made a new one. I see my outside orders and my referrals go up this way. I also do mailings. Stamp it. Put a stamp on it and throw it in the mail.
What are you sending?
Yeah. So when we have the new product line, I send thank you notes to my past clients with a 10% off coupon, which I will also post in the WOW page. I'll take a picture of the front and the back for you and upload that too. And then I highly recommend, which I used to do a lot, is expos. There's so many expos in everybody's area. So wedding expos, this is the time of year to do that. So get out. I recommend going in, either do it by yourself or another goddess or Adonis or two, and get your information out. It's very, very smart to get some marketing materials, whether it be from Vistaprint or whatever it is, offering something and showing who you are. Just you constantly have to push. But and I also do a monthly mailer that is a different incentive each month, which people look forward to from me too.
You're touching people on a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
I love that. So here's the big one, Chrissy. This is, I think, the question that people are waiting for is, so you have a very busy life with 2 children. You have a very wildly successful direct sales business. You have a huge team. How do you keep it all organized?
Yeah, how can I not?
This is the big one.
Yeah, it really is. I get this a lot. Like, a lot of people write to me about this. At this point, how can I not stay organized, right? So to give you a sense of who I am in everyday normal mom life, I actually told my husband last year that I was teaching my team a class on organization, and he literally like spit out water laughing out loud saying, it's probably not the best idea for people to follow you since your personal life is such a hot mess. So I was like, oh, wow, thanks, hon. So you don't have to be a super organized person to stay organized in your business, so don't be scared by that. But seriously, my business is and has to be organized. So I love the quick sale, as I mentioned before. I also do inventory twice a month. I have a private tax consultant, which I highly recommend. That helps a lot with that end, which I don't have to worry about for myself. So now I can keep my personal clientele and team more of what my time can go into. For my clients, I actually still have my old-fashioned files. I still like paper. So I have all of my party guest wish lists and the About Me sheet stapled onto the mailing list that I send around in the beginning of the show. So everybody puts their name on this with their information, and as they order in the ordering room, I check off their name. So if somebody leaves without ordering, there's all their information in front of me. I don't lose them. So after the show, 2 days later, I offer an incentive for ordering and booking if money was the issue, because usually people leave without ordering if they don't have the money. So now I'm giving them a booking incentive. So I have this sheet that I stapled the mailing list to and the wish list to that. And the top sheet has the hostess's name, party total, bookings that I received at the show, and then giveaways, as well as my final profit. And then I file it. So I follow up with people at the 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, and 1 year marks. So as I do my 2-week calls, that whole party, which is already stapled together, gets filed back in the 2 months, and so on. So when it comes to organization of my stock, I have large utility totes from 31 that I bring to my shows. I carry 4 of everything that I show, so that keeps my bags, the inventory in my bags all set. When I come home, I pull up my orders, and whatever I ordered, I take out and then I put in. So I constantly have the same flow. I color code my product covers as well. So if you're into, you understand when you look down at your bag and you have Supreme creams, now you're like, oh my gosh, which is which? So instead of pulling them up to see what it is, I now have a color code on top. So I just reach in, grab, put it into their bag, and go. Lubes, mysticals, all of that. So again, finding what works best for you and your personality as well as your lifestyle is what's needed for each person. And I could talk about organization for days. So again, we can do a message thread on questions about that. What I do may not work for you, but it may. So try different things. And that's what I did. I really tried a lot of different things until I found what worked for me. And I know a lot of people use spreadsheets as well, which work for them and their business. So finding what works for you.
All right, and here's the other big question. Lots of people ask this question. I think that people are very concerned that you have no life outside of Athena's. It's just work to do what you do. So how do you, Chrissy Shedd, balance your business and your personal life?
That's another big one, right? Those are the 2 big ones. Those of you that think I don't have a life out of Athena's, I have a huge life out of Athena's. I go on weeks upon weeks of vacation with my family every year now. Again, I figured it out. So balance, the ultimate question for Chrissy Shedd. So I completely understand why I get this question. I'm a mom of 2. I'm a wife, a friend, a full-time goddess, both for my clients and my team. So I want to make sure that all aspects of my life get equal attention. It took me years to master this, not days. Okay, so you have to remember, again, time. So, of course, on that scale, my family is the most important piece of the puzzle. My children get to X off a day each month that they personally get themselves. My family gets a night or 2 a month, and my husband gets a night each month. So in the beginning of each quarter, now more for me, it's the beginning of every 6 months because I'm booking that far in advance, they get to choose what days I have to take off. It's not a choice for me. So I have to stick to that. Black Sharpies, X off their days, and then we plan. Also, any holiday week or weekend is instantly family plan time off. So my clients know this at this point too. Memorial Day is 5 days, 4th of July is 8, Labor Day is a week, Columbus Day is a week, and then 2 weeks at the end of the year. Also, I take a family vacation every year, and then I do a vacation just for me and my husband. So when it comes to more daily balance, so the schedule I chatted about earlier is vital for me. So I work when the family is away and make sure to not have my nose in my computer or my phone or my ear on my phone, right, when they are home, when we're all home together. So for those of you that are saying, yeah, I have young children that I'm home with, or I have a full-time job, I used to do that too. My story has just changed. So at that point with the job, I would work when I got home after I put the kids to sleep, and then on Saturday or Sunday morning for a bit. You can find time. You just have to stick to it. Those of you with young children, have them work with you. My kids loved labeling catalogs. They still do, but when they were really little, labeling catalogs, putting booster stickers on them, putting lap boards together, labels on samples, whatever it is. And then you can tell them that this is a big kid job, and you can do what you need to do at that point. You're still working, but they're working with you. See, you made them. You can make them work. And your labels don't have to be perfect. I know some of you OCD people are thinking, oh, my gosh, I could never do that. You can use this as a recruiting incentive. People get a kick out of that, when, especially when they were younger and the labels were off-center. I would just explain, see, you can do this being a mom. It's perfect for you. It just keeps it real. And then when I started, remember, I had 3 jobs. Then it got changed, and I got married, had 3 jobs and a baby at that point. And then when I started full-time goddess mode, I also owned a DJing company, and I had 2 young children. But I still grew my business. It can be done. You just have to do it. You have to not make excuses, and you have to want it. So truly, when you say you don't have time, it is an excuse. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound rude, but it is. Because you do, or you can have time. Even 15 minutes, people, that can be a lot of time if you work it correctly when building your business. So I'm an open book as well, truly. Questions are always welcome. I love sharing ideas with people. So many of you give amazing feedback when I did the December BBW or ordering on the ordering rooms or other calls I've done. So this is what I love, assisting and helping others. So please don't be afraid to reach out. I've heard too many occasions where people say, I can't reach out to Chrissy Shedd because she's intimidating, or I feel like she's not approachable. It's not true. So I am. And I hope this helped. And I could talk forever about business growth. So thank you for your time, words. And thanks for having me, Jen. I appreciate it.
Oh, Chrissy, thank you. You always give so selflessly from your heart. You'll help anyone who asks you. And that's another thing. You somehow balance that in there where you help others without hesitating. And I just love that about you. You give with your whole entire heart. So thank you for being part of this call, and let's talk after this about doing a call on organization at some point this year. Just
I'd be happy to.
Whole call on organization. I love that. Thank you for the inspiration. That is exactly what I was hoping for, because, it's summer, and this is a time when people can lose their focus on their business. There's a lot going on. The kids are home. The schedule is lax. The beach is calling. But here's the truth. If they don't work in the summer, they have no business in the fall. And
right.
Why is it that people say, oh, I can't get bookings in the summer, yet you sold $65,000 last summer? It's totally and completely possible to find the balance between work and play. You can find your summer business zen. You do it. And,
absolutely.
I'm just hoping that everybody gets some Chrissy Shedd juju all over them from this call and makes the choice. It's as simple as just deciding when you will work. That's what you do. It looks like you sit at the beginning of every quarter. You decide when you will work, and you're committed to working. And then you decide, when you're not working because you have playtime and relaxing and commitments to your children and your husband and yourself because you deserve it, because you work so hard. And anybody can create that balance. Anyone can create that success. They just have to want it, and then they have to do it.
That's the key.
I know that everyone on this call is here because they care about their business. They care about learning. They want to reach their personal best. So I acknowledge all of you for being the type of business owner that seeks the knowledge. And Chrissy said it, that she devotes a certain percentage of her time to learning, and so that she can grow her business. And learning is a commitment, and it helps you grow in ways that you never imagined, both personally and professionally. So thanks for including that tip, Chrissy. That was awesome. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to fill your calendar with profitable parties, take some of that juicy Chrissy Shedd juju that she just got all over you, and start making big money? Well, the perfect place to do it is at the June Business Building Blitz next Tuesday. Chrissy blitzes. You blitz too. So get your open date sheet, your who do you know list, your customer list, your customer care cards, your list of previous hostesses, your party packs that you have stapled together. Get every contact that you have and spend the day building your business. You are the architect of your success. And, I ask you, how many summer parties are you going to book on June 6th? How many? Are you going to book 8? Are you going to book 12? Are you going to book 14? These are the seeds that you plant. These are the seeds that grow into profitable parties so that you can have a great summer. And we have fun marketing materials for summer. We've posted them in the booking photo albums and the WOW page. Just click on summer and you can see a lot of those social media posts. So, pick up those tools and build your empire. But remember, just like Chrissy said, you have to talk to people about your business. It's not just, I'm going to make this passive post on Facebook and hope that I get 10 bookings from it. You got to talk to people. All right, now it's time for me to give everyone on this call a chance to win a womanizer. You could use this item as a summer booking incentive for yourself. You could add it to your demonstration kit, or you can keep it for yourself. And if you don't have a womanizer, I highly recommend you get one. So fill out the Google Docs survey that was included in the email or on the Wow War pages. Fill out the survey. Share your aha moments with us. Chrissy and I want to know what you thought of this call. You can find the Google Docs survey, like I said, in the email that contained this webinar, or it was posted in the Wow and War group. So click on the link, fill it out completely, and that is how we know you were here and count it towards your spoils of war and get you entered to win that womanizer. Fill it out by midnight tonight on Warrior Wednesday to get entered to win that free womanizer. Can't listen on Wednesday, that's okay. You'll have till 11:59 on Friday, June 2nd, to complete and submit your Google Doc. And by submitting this information, we knew that you were here. All right, now your final code word is SHINES, SHINES. Your final code word, ladies and gentlemen, is SHINES. Thank you so much, Chrissy Shedd, once again, for being so open and willing to share. You're amazing. And thank you to everyone who took time out of their busy life to listen. All right, you've got it takes look at what Chrissy Shedd has done. You've got what it takes to become a superstar here at Athena's and start making the big bucks. So I'll see you in our Facebook community. Chrissy's going to go there, and she's going to post her top 5 selling items for you on this Warrior Wednesday. So everyone, good luck in the Womanizer raffle, and Goddess bless.